Welcome to Outlier on Air. Today we are in San Francisco and we're meeting with Michael Chertok from DDD, and that's a social enterprise from what I understand.
You got it.
I would love to know a little bit more about what DDD stands for, first of all, and what you're doing.
Sure. We are Digital Divide Data, DDD for short.
Digital Divide Data.
Correct.
Okay.
And we provide a set of outsourced business services to all sorts of businesses, from the smallest startup to really large Fortune 500 corporations.
Okay, so what does that mean? Is that admin services or?
Well, for us, it means a set of data services, content conversion or digitization services,
Okay.
and also research services.
Okay.
And so, for example, if your company has a database of client prospects, but it's messy, there are dupes, there are errors, we can go and we can clean that up as part of our data hygiene services.
Okay, so from what I understand, tell me about how your labor force is set up.
Yeah, so our mission as an organization is to provide an opportunity for young people, particularly from very low-income families in developing countries. And so we have a workforce in Kenya and Cambodia that will provide services for companies all over the world, here in the United States as well as in Europe and in Asia and Africa.
So it's essentially like an internship for them, where they're getting experience and also training at the same time.
Exactly. And we provide a very high quality service to our customers,
Okay.
because they're very committed. When they're working for us, it's an opportunity for them not only in many cases to have a first job,
Great.
but also to get a college education.
Okay, excellent. So they're actually getting a college education as they're working for you.
Exactly.
And what's the relationship? Are they independent contractor type of status, or are they actual employees? How does that work?
They're employees
Okay.
of DDD.
And then how long is the program for them?
They typically work for us for more than 4 years.
Oh, really? Wow. And can they support a family on that? What kind of an income do they get for where they live?
Most of them they have to have graduated from high school.
Okay.
And so this is enough to support them. But the goal is to provide a stepping stone to higher level incomes and professional jobs so that they can support a family.
Okay, so is your workforce uniquely overseas in these communities?
Yeah, well, our workforce is as I said, in Kenya,
Okay.
in Cambodia, and also in Laos.
Okay.
And we're now looking at the possibility of starting up here in the U.S. as well.
Oh, excellent. So tell me how big your workforce is. I mean, I know you're here located in San Francisco at a space that's dedicated specifically towards social enterprises, which is amazing, but you actually have a huge team.
Sure, we're 1,200 people around the world.
Wow.
We started in 2001, and we've grown our business now so that we have an earned revenue of $5.5 million.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So you're a nonprofit? Or?
We're actually a hybrid organization, Melinda. And what that means is that we're a U.S. nonprofit, and our nonprofit owns a set of for-profit businesses in the countries where we work.
Okay, excellent. So tell me a little bit about your role and what you get to do hands-on with these workers.
Sure. So my role is to support DDD with our client marketing as well as our financing. And so that's why I'm based here in San Francisco, because many of our clients and our partners are based here in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And so it's an ideal place for me and a small team to be based. But the work that we do actually happens overseas.
Okay.
The benefit of that is, first of all, for the young people who work for us, but for our customers, it's an ideal opportunity to have back office support without fixed costs, and to literally get work done at a high quality overnight while you sleep.
Wow, excellent. So how does it compare from the client standpoint to like an Odesk or an Elance? Are your clients big organizations, or is it something where someone can go on and just have a little job done here and there?
Well, if you have a small contract job, Odesk or Elance can be a great solution.
Okay.
What DDD offers is that we offer not only a team of workers, but project management. And we specialize in a set of content solutions. So the data services that I mentioned earlier, We also do a set of content conversion services. If you have digital content and want to put it into some kind of XML format to syndicate it on Google or on Amazon, we can get that work done for you. We can get that work done at, you're finished with your content at the end of the day, we'll have it up on Google the next morning.
Right. So do you deal with any struggles with the technology that's available in these communities? Do you need to somehow work with an entity to make that technology available, or is that available
Well,
to
we're
them?
really fortunate that we've partnered with Cisco Systems and with Microsoft.
Nice.
And they are our technology providers.
Okay.
And we've seen that in developing countries, increasingly the infrastructure is there to support this. We started in 2001, and at that point we struggled to have reliable internet access, but that's really changed.
Excellent. So I'd like to know a little bit more about you and how you got involved. Did you found this company, and how did you come to do that?
So I'm one of the co-founders of DDD,
Okay.
and my story starts when I was the same age as some of our employees. After I graduated from high school and started college, I was struggling to figure out, how do I pay for college?
Right.
And over the summer, I got a job doing back office work for a medical supply company. And I was doing cost accounting data entry in their office. And I have to say, I didn't always like the work. It was somewhat tedious,
Right.
but it was really my first job in an office. And I learned all sorts of skills about how do you communicate with your manager, how do you work with coworkers, what happens if you're not feeling well and you can't come in,
Right.
or you've been out on a bender and you can't come in,
Right.
and how do you handle that?
Yeah.
And when we first saw this opportunity to do this work in Cambodia, it resonated with my own personal experience. And in Cambodia, the challenge was young people were being trained in English skills and computer skills, but they couldn't find jobs. And we said that DDD can be that work experience, and it could also be a work experience that's ongoing because it's supported by client revenue.
So what is the most rewarding experience that you can think of within your career with DDD that you can share with us?
The most rewarding experience is that I've had a chance to know some of the young people when they started in their first year of working for us, seen them through 4 years of work, and then gone on to better things. So for example, when I worked in Cambodia in 2003, there was a young man who had started almost at the beginning of DDD, Kunti, and Kunti at that time could barely speak English, but he was working incredibly hard, and the team said he was really bright and he could become a leader in the company. And we trained him to do this kind of management of our work. Kunti helped us to start up a new office, became one of the senior managers of the company, and worked with us for 8 years until 2 years ago when he left to become the CEO of a rice mill. And it was just incredible that a young man who grew up in a rural part of Cambodia, a very poor family, has had the opportunity through the education and work experience to become a business leader in his own country.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've actually been able to spend a fair amount of time there with these employees.
Yeah,
That's very
so
rewarding.
I've spent time working in Cambodia, working in Laos, and more recently in Kenya.
Wow, that's great, and I'm sure that's why you do it.
So yeah, it's an incredibly rewarding work,
Yeah.
and we feel great that this is a way to, both for us and also for our clients, to do well
Yeah.
and to do good.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the experience while you're there on the ground with them. How long are you there? And then also, where do they go after? Is there opportunity for them after this program where they live?
Yeah, sure. So I spent 6 months living and working in Cambodia, and now I go back from time to time, and usually they spend a week there. But the young people who work in our program, after they've had this work experience and had an opportunity to go to college, they're able to land professional jobs. Many of them go on to work in the IT sector, some go on to work in finance and accounting, others go on to work as teachers or in nonprofit organizations, some go on to work in government. We had a wonderful young woman who went through our program and then went on to advise the Ministry of Education in Cambodia about how to set up computers in the schools there.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
That's just a great feeling, I'm sure, that you get, and that's why we get involved with social enterprises. Now, what would you say to a company that's not necessarily a social enterprise but wants to give back in the community?
Well, One of the things that we offer is an opportunity for entrepreneurs to be able to really leverage their resources to help them grow their businesses. And we can provide a back office. So for the cost of hiring one person in the United States, you might be able to hire a team of 5 smart young people in Kenya to do your back office work for you.
Excellent. And then they have your entity really as a support to know that that's going to be a quality deliverable. It's not just some individual with no infrastructure.
Exactly. And so, for example, we worked with a startup company that was in a business where they were doing video tagging. And their video tagging could not be automated. They needed people to actually understand what was happening within the video. And we trained a team to do that in Laos.
Really?
These young people worked incredibly hard. They helped them to build the company. The whole company is about 10 people in the US, but now there's a team of 100 behind them in Laos
really?
who support the company's operation. In 3 years, they were able to get to a point where they were able to sell the company.
Right. Wow, that's excellent. So tell me, what is, we've got all this conversation about overseas jobs and taking our business and our money and shipping it overseas to these support teams. And I hear a lot of negativity around that, but in my experience, there's actually a very positive effect. And I'd love to know your statement on that.
Well, I would say 2 things. First of all, the work that we do overseas, to a great extent, wouldn't happen if it had to happen at the cost of work here in the US. And so if you have work that can't be done for $10 an hour, you just wouldn't pay $10 an hour to do that work, then it makes sense that that work should be done overseas. Second of all, in working with DDD, you're creating an opportunity for a young person in another country. And so we're excited about that opportunity that I've talked about. But third, we've wrestled with this as well. And for a long time, we've wanted to look at, could we take the same model that's been successful in other countries and bring it back to the US? And we're excited that in the next few months, we think we'll be able to launch here in the US as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's exciting. I'd love to know, what was a key struggle throughout these many years that you've been in operation? What is one of your key struggles that you've run into in building this?
Well, I would say the greatest challenge is that we've needed to balance the goal that we've had as an organization with our highest priority, which is to serve our clients, because we're not going to exist as a business unless we're delivering a quality product to our clients.
Right.
And so the challenge is that's got to be our number one business priority. And at the same time, we want to do it in a way that creates opportunity for the young people who work for us.
And is that the key? I guess the key struggle that you deal with from year to year is just keeping that quality of work up, and that's where you put a lot of your attention.
Yeah, and I would say, compared to so many organizations that are oriented as a nonprofit, we're very much oriented as a business.
Okay.
And it's really it's become part of our DNA to run this as a business, even though our structure is a nonprofit and we're a mission-driven organization.
Excellent. Well, I definitely see the vision of what you're doing, and obviously it's well needed because of the years, the proof that you have and the history that you have and the success that you've had. How much have you grown through the years? Give me an example, or give me an idea of just how big this is.
Sure. Well, we started with 40 young people in Cambodia. We're now 1,200 people worldwide. But what's more exciting is that when we started, we were among the first to do something like this. We're now seeing that there are a couple dozen companies around the globe who are doing this kind of work. They're calling it impact sourcing. And we're part of a $1 trillion sourcing industry.
Oh, wow.
And so we see that there's enormous potential for both nonprofit and for-profit organizations to start businesses like this, to start to look at how do they use this enormous opportunity to do good in the world.
Okay, excellent. Well, I really appreciate you digging in and sharing your business with us. Where can we find you online?
We're at digitaldividedata.com.
Okay, digitaldividedata.com.
Got it.
If you go to outliermagazine.co, we will have the show notes to this interview as well as all of the links mentioned today. We'll see you online. Thank you so much, Michael.
Great. Thank you, Melinda.
You bet.